There's an interesting problem arising with consumers and greenwashing, which is that consumers have way more information now about greenwashing and are aware of it. But actually they almost have so much information that I think they're struggling to clearly discern whether one brand is greenwashing and another isn't. So they're looking for it, but they almost have too much information. I think the job from the brand's point of view is to try and give clarity, not just information about it.
There are some real challenges for the consumer, and they are being made more aware around greenwashing, but I don't think as much as we'd hope. And I think we need to educate people. We probably need to have more regulatory sort of interactions on how we should label items. There is a new EU directive, and even though we're outside of the EU, we buy brands which are part of the EU, so we'll be able to see it in the UK. And this new piece of legislation is about the Digital Product Passport. And the Digital Product Passport, or DPP as it's known, should give consumers the ability to track every element of the supply chain by looking at the label and maybe scanning a QR code on a label that you have bought in an item, and so you can see the 7 major steps of how that product has been made. So labeling and education should be a relatively useful tool for consumers.
So I think consumers in general are still getting their heads around sustainability, and for many the term greenwashing might not mean anything yet. So I think really getting consumers to start thinking about sustainability options is the most important thing at this time. I think some people are still wanting to believe that everything is great, so we'd always kind of advocate kind of honest conversation. So things don't need to be perfect, but as long as you're being honest with the consumer about where you're at on your sustainability journey, that's better than trying to make out that everything's okay.
I think they definitely are, because luckily it's becoming more, we've had some really big cases hitting the news in the last couple of years, and I think although it's not necessarily forcing or encouraging consumers to seek out green companies, if the more aware they're becoming of it, the more it's building up in their background knowledge of how to consume sustainably. So I think it's providing a better environment for them to slowly cajole them towards more conscious shopping.